Clownfish, scientifically known as Amphiprionidae, are small, colorful fish that live in symbiosis with sea anemones on coral reefs. Although they have strategies to protect themselves, they also have certain vulnerabilities and predators that threaten their survival. Clownfish vulnerabilities or weaknesses. Small size. Their small size, usually 10 to 18 centimeters, makes them easy prey for many larger marine predators. Dependence on anemones. Although their symbiotic relationship with anemones provides them with protection, if they move away from them for any reason, such as searching for food or during relocation to new areas, they become exposed to predators. Limited mobility. Clownfish have a small range of movement and rarely move more than 4 to 6 meters away from their host anemone. This makes them vulnerable if there is a change in their environment or if their anemone is destroyed. Environmental threats. The destruction of coral reefs, bleaching of anemones, and water pollution diminish their habitats and the conditions they need to survive. Limited reproduction. Although they have effective reproductive strategies, such as changing sex to form breeding pairs, their reproduction rate is not sufficient to compensate for large population losses caused by predators or alterations in the environment. Clownfish predators. Larger fish. Fish such as lionfish, groupers, and barracudas feed on small fish, including clownfish. Those species such as moray eels often hunt clownfish, especially if they manage to get close enough to anemones. Reef sharks. Although they are not their main predators, some small reef sharks may include clownfish in their diet. Seabirds. Some birds that hunt in reef areas may catch clownfish that come too close to the surface. Humans. Although they are not direct predators, the capture of clownfish for the aquarium industry and the destruction of their habitat by human activities are significant threats. Clownfish defenses. Symbiosis with anemones. Clownfish have a symbiotic relationship with sea anemones, which protect them with their stinging tentacles. These fish develop immunity to the anemone's venom by covering themselves with a layer of protective mucus. Territorial behavior. Clownfish are often very aggressive and territorial, which helps deter smaller predators. Relative camouflage. Although their bright colors might seem like a weakness, inside the anemone's tentacles, these colors can blend into their surroundings, making them less visible to predators.
The symbiotic relationship between clownfish, Amphiprionidae, and sea anemones is one of the most fascinating examples of cooperation in nature. This relationship is mutualistic, meaning that both species benefit significantly. How does the symbiotic relationship work? Protection for clownfish. The tentacles of anemones contain stinging cells called cnidocytes, which release toxins to paralyze or repel predators. Clownfish are immune to these toxins because of a layer of protective mucus on their skin, allowing them to shelter among the tentacles without being harmed. Benefits for the anemone. Clownfish provides several benefits to the anemone. Cleaning. Clownfish feed on small parasites and food scraps caught in the anemone's tentacles, helping to keep it healthy. Prey attraction. The clownfish's bright, flashy movements attract small fish and organisms to the anemone, which can then be captured by its tentacles. Ventilation. By moving between the tentacles, the clownfish improves water circulation around the anemone, aiding in the exchange of oxygen and nutrients. Anemone defense. Clownfish are very territorial and aggressive, scaring away potential predators of the anemone, such as butterflyfish, which feed on anemones. How do clownfish develop their immunity? When a clownfish finds a new anemone, it does not directly enter between its tentacles. Instead, it follows a process of adaptation. Gradual contact. The clownfish carefully brushes the tentacles with different parts of its body, exposing itself to small amounts of the toxins. Protective mucus production. Its skin generates a specialized mucus that blocks the anemone's toxins, preventing the cnidocytes from activating. Examples of anemones associated with clownfish. Not all anemones are suitable for clownfish. The most common anemone species in this symbiotic relationship include Heteractis magnifica, magnificent anemone; Sticodactyla gigantea, giant anemone; Intacmia quadricolor, bubble-tip anemone. Importance of this relationship. Ecological. Maintains the balance of coral reef ecosystems by providing shelter and food for both clownfish and anemone. Conservation. The loss of anemones due to climate change and pollution directly affects clownfish populations, highlighting the need to protect reefs.
Climate change has a profound impact on marine ecosystems, and the clownfish is no exception. As a species that directly depends on sea anemones and coral reefs, the effects of climate change on these habitats can put their survival at risk. Below are the main effects. 1. Bleaching of anemones and corals. Bleaching occurs when anemones and corals lose the symbiotic algae called zooxanthellae, which provide them with nutrients and their characteristic color. This happens mainly due to increased water temperature, thermal stress caused by global warming forces anemones to expel their zooxanthellae. Without these algae, anemones can weaken or even die. Increased ocean acidity. The absorption of carbon dioxide by the oceans reduces their pH, negatively affecting the health of anemones and corals. For clownfish, the loss of anemones means the disappearance of their primary refuge, leaving them exposed to predators and without a place to reproduce. 2. Habitat loss. Coral reefs are the primary ecosystem for clownfish and anemones. However, climate change threatens these habitats due to sea level rise. Changes in water depth can affect the amount of light available to corals and anemones, reducing their ability to survive. Extreme weather events. More frequent and severe hurricanes, typhoons, and storms physically destroy reefs and wipe out anemones. 3. Changes in the symbiotic relationship. Clownfish and anemone rely on a delicate environmental balance. If conditions change too much, the symbiotic relationship can break down. Stress on anemones. Weakened anemones cannot provide the same level of protection to clownfish. Changes in clownfish behavior. Studies suggest that environmental stress also affects the ability of clownfish to find and establish symbiotic relationships with anemones. 4. Impact on reproduction. Clownfish depend on a stable habitat to reproduce. Decreased availability of anemones. The loss of anemones reduces mating opportunities as they serve as spawning and nursery grounds. Increased stress. Changes in the environment can alter clownfish reproductive behavior, such as their ability to care for eggs. 5. Reduced food. Climate change also affects food availability on reefs. Decrease in small prey. Many of the clownfish's prey, such as zooplankton and small crustaceans, are sensitive to changes in water temperature and composition. 6. Vulnerability to global warming. Clownfish are ectothermic fish, meaning their metabolism depends on water temperature. Higher temperatures can alter their development and growth, reduce their ability to defend themselves from predators. Solutions and actions to protect clownfish. Conservation of coral reefs. Create marine protected areas. Reduce pollution and the use of plastics. Mitigation of climate change. Reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Promote renewable energy to stop global warming. Education and awareness. Raise awareness about the importance of reefs and their relationship with species such as the clownfish. Clownfish survival is closely linked to the health of coral reefs and sea anemones. If corals and anemones disappear due to climate change or habitat destruction, clownfish will face great difficulties in adapting. What options do clownfish have if corals and anemones disappear? Searching for a symbiotic replacement. In theory, clownfish could try to form relationships with other marine species that can offer shelter, but this is highly unlikely. Symbiosis with anemones is a product of millions of years of evolution, and replicating it with another species would be extremely difficult in a short period of time. Adapting to a new habitat. Although clownfish have limited mobility, they could try to survive in areas with reef-like structures, such as rocks or shipwrecks. However, without the protection of anemones, they would be much more exposed to predators, changing their behavior. In the absence of anemones, clownfish would have to develop new defensive and reproductive strategies. This would imply an evolutionary change, which could only occur over many generations. Migrating to healthier ecosystems. If some areas of the ocean still support healthy coral reefs, clownfish could migrate to these places, but their ability to move is limited and the stress of the journey could be fatal. Biological reality, high dependence. In practice, Clownfish are highly dependent on anemones, and their survival is seriously compromised if they disappear. This makes them a symbolic species for coral reefs, as their decline is an indicator of the broader damage to the marine ecosystem. What can we do? To prevent this scenario from occurring, it is crucial to protect reefs by creating marine reserves and reducing destructive activities such as dynamite fishing and unregulated tourism. Stop climate change, reduce greenhouse gas emissions, and support global policies to limit temperature increases. Restore corals. Implement reef restoration projects, such as growing corals in underwater nurseries and then replanting them. The clownfish, with its special symbiotic relationship, reminds us of the importance of preserving marine ecosystems.